03717223344. Just on Manchester United, Dean, we're going to take calls after 11 on Manchester United. Ten Hag's come in. He's got a big job. What do they need to do? What would be your 5-point plan to get them back to where they should be?
Well, Ollie's job when he come in was to get rid of people first, clear the decks, because you're having to get people out before you can get people in when you walk into that situation. But now this fella, Ten Hag's going in, and he's got that job, but there's more players to get rid of. So he's got to get rid of players. They've obviously said to him, get some out before we can get some in.
Do you think?
And the list of I'm looking at the list.
Who needs to leave there? I mean, some of them are going to go on a free
I don't think
anyway.
the lot's good enough. He'll probably get rid of Jones, Fred, Pogba.
Fred's been good this season.
No, he hasn't.
Oh, he has, Dean. Dean, he's been all right, Fred. Honestly.
What do you mean, all right?
He's been all right.
All right. What are you judging him on?
On what everyone thinks of Fred as a player.
Well, if
I
you
think
play,
he's a little bit disrespected. I think actually, as a player this season, some of his performances have actually been good.
If you play for Man United, right, or if you play for Liverpool, or if you play for Man City, you've got to be able to do everything, right? You've got to be the best midfield players in the world to play for them clubs. You've got to be up there on the list of midfield players. For me, he could play for Southampton.
Who?
Fred. That's his level. I'm not saying he's hopeless, but not playing for Man United when you've got, bear in mind, you've got to find world beaters in front of you up the top of the pitch. You've got to supply people whose minds are on a different level to Fred's. He don't even see him run. He don't see him run. He can't hit the pass when he does see him run. He's at the wrong level.
So you get rid of him?
He's not good enough to play. His attitude seems good, and that's why every manager picks him. McTominay's attitude's good. He's a young player that's still got a chance of a future at Man United for me if he's moulded along with the right players alongside him. But you imagine playing with Fred. Would you like to play with Fred?
Yeah. Okay.
No.
He runs around. He works hard. He
Yeah,
puts
but look
the
what
foot
he just
in.
said.
He's good on the ball.
Right, he runs around and works
He's got
hard.
energy.
His first two
great
qualities.
attitude. I think he gets disrespected a little bit.
He's just not good enough. It's like different levels, Jamie, innit?
Yeah,
we're going to play golf tomorrow. You're really good at golf, but you can't play on the pro circuit.
You put Scholes alongside Nicky Butt. Scholes is still Scholes, but you have a Nicky Butt alongside you. That's what Fred is. Fred's like a Nicky Butt.
Nicky Butt's miles better than him. Nicky Butt will be devastated listening to what you've just said. Nicky Butt's better the same as Fred.
No, I'm not saying they're the same. I'm saying that in terms of, Nicky Butt, you wouldn't say is a Manchester United legend, would you?
By the way, I'm not saying I'm right.
In terms of how good he was as a player, Nicky Butt was a brilliant player for Manchester United, alongside, Scholes and Rooney and other players around him. Fred hasn't got them players around him.
No, Darren Fletcher, miles better than Fred. It was the lad they used to play in midfield. What's his name? His name will come to me in a minute. He only played in the games where they weren't going to get a lot of the ball. Bayern Munich away.
Ji-sung Park?
Park, yeah. So Park and Fletcher always played. When Fergie
but that's what Fred is.
But he's not as good as them two. He's not good at getting the ball back.
Fred?
He's not good enough. Simple as that. The more I think about it, Matic got a piano on his back. Gone. Finished. Get rid of Matic.
Piano.
Lingard's got to go. Varane finished.
He's won the World Cup.
Finished.
What do you mean finished?
Past tense, when he was a Viking. Gone.
He's won the World Cup.
Gone. Finished. His legs are gone. He's had a chance to show how good he is, and he's made terrible mistakes.
He's been injured.
Well, he's not good enough, in my opinion. I'm not saying I'm right. This is just what you've asked me, what I think. Who's got to go?
You're 100% wrong.
I'd keep Sancho, Ronaldo. Do you know who I think's the best player?
Go on.
Apart, obviously, Ronaldo's a freak. Cavani.
He's gone.
I know. Cavani, for me, every time he played, looks like he's having a go and he can score at any point during the game. Obviously got a few injuries, but Cavani, for me, was attitude spot on. Matic got to go. Fred got to go. Pogba got to go. Jones, Lingard. So he's got to get rid of all these players. That is about 12 conversations with 12 different agents that you were spending your whole summer with. Yeah. As a manager, he will be on the phone now negotiating how much do you want to get rid of him? How much have I got to pay the boy for him to leave? You've got to pay him to leave, by the way.
That doesn't, as a manager, that doesn't happen. Doesn't work.
No. So, what if all these lads say, I'm not leaving?
Well, they're staying.
Thanks very much, I'm not leaving. It's going to take him another year in his progress to build. Because he's going to have to dismantle before he starts building. You can't start building until you get rid of these. Because they're still in the dressing room.
What do they need to
not
get?
playing.
What do they need to get?
I think they need to start with a back four. The goalkeeper has had good moments. He's earning a lot of money. He's been part of the rotten atmosphere there. You might even need to change him.
De Gea?
Might do. I think he's been there. He's been there too long. Start again.
I mean,
he's a voice. He's a voice in the dressing room.
He's the best player last 4 seasons.
Jamie, that club inside is rotten.
Wow.
Right? Inside.
So you want to get rid of De Gea?
You've got to start again. You've got to clear the decks. Honestly, if you've got a voice, he's got a voice in that dressing room. He's got a voice, and he's obviously not done his job. He's an experienced player, and he's not done his job with the rest of the players. Because as a manager, you're only as good as your senior players. You're only as good as them. Because they do your job for you in the dressing room. People like you, who are a loose cannon, in the Spurs dressing room, Modric would tell you before I told you. Modric would say, Jamie, you cannot train like that every day.
Yeah, Robbie
You
Keane.
you cannot act like that around the place. You can't go out at night and stay out till 5 a.m. and expect to be a professional footballer. They would tell you before I did. Man United haven't got any of them in the dressing room. Harry Maguire's the nearest.
Harry Maguire. So Harry's
the nearest.
Wow.
Maguire, I think he's got a good attitude.
Dean Saunders there, Manchester United fans. What do you make of that? 03717 22 3344. Let's go to Ryan, who's a Manchester United fan. Ryan, good evening.
Hey, Ryan.
Oh, wait, I've got to cut this. That's it. Hiya.
All right, Rise, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Sorry, I was just saying bye to someone at work. I've just finished work.
Rise, I don't know if you've been listening, but we've been talking Manchester United, and Dean's been basically savage about the whole club and what needs to happen. What do you think needs to happen?
First off, Dean Saunders, I respect you. I think you're a top manager. You was.
Yeah.
And a top guy.
There's a butt in this, isn't there?
When Cundy's like, here's a butt.
Yeah.
I think you're talking out your backside.
Go on then. Let me tell you what I've said. Hang on. No, let me tell you what I've said, and then you can correct me, right?
How can he say to get rid of David De Gea? He kept us in most of the games last season.
Well, the reason I would get rid of him is because he's been part of the decline of the club over the last 5 years. He's been part of it.
He's not.
He's had back. Hey, he's just having to have a good.
It together.
Hey, 2 years ago, he was nearly out the team. Gone.
That's why I would have agreed with you then, but not after last season.
He's on 375 grand a week. Do you think he's bringing value for money? He's on 375 grand a week.
There ain't many great goalkeepers out there.
Jamie, he's on 375 grand a week. Are you getting value for money out of De Gea?
Yes.
You think so?
You are.
Yeah. I think you are.
And the next 3 years.
He kept him in so many games last season.
Well, anyway, look, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying that's my opinion. I'd get rid of him.
Rise, is he talking nonsense?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sorry. All you ex-Liverpool players and that.
No, I'm not coming from that angle.
I totally agree with you, Ryan.
I'm sorry. You see, Graham Souness on Sky Sports. You see them all. Jamie Carragher. But look at Gary Neville. Technically, but Man United fan, you'll see him praise Liverpool, praise City, and it kills him. You can see it kills him. But he's a pundit now.
Yeah.
Stop slating United.
I'm just telling you. I'm not slating United because I'm an ex-Liverpool player. I mean it. I actually mean it. I've watched the club. I played against proper Man United teams. No, I played against. No, I played against proper Man United teams, and I can't believe what's happened to the club. And I'm saying to you, look, do you think the lot's good enough?
There's some players I'd keep.
Who?
I've never been a massive Fred fan, but I must admit, last season I think he didn't do too bad.
Right, so we got Fred.
So you think you're going to win something with Fred in your team?
And McTominay?
No, I'm not saying I'd get rid of McTominay. I don't think he's...
You don't like him? You get rid of him?
No, I hate the McFred. I would have got rid of Fred until a bit last season. He played well. Maguire, there's something going on because he was fantastic for England. He's fantastic for Leicester.
Just lost his belief, confidence.
But it's all the coaching now. You look at Sanchez when he comes to United. Look at the performance he did for Arsenal. Any team would have took him. Any team. The guy wanted to leave after the first training session.
Well, do you know what? Do you know why I said get rid of everybody? Because it's rotten in the middle, and players go in there and they get sucked into the losing mentality. They get sucked into it.
What we do on a training ground because I don't see the players don't.
It's the culture. It's not the coach. Obviously, they're decent coaches, but it's like a sinking ship, and they can't stop it. And I think you've got to get rid of the lot. No, I'm not keeping many of them.
So you're keeping Maguire?
Well, only because I think he's lost. He's obviously not become a shocking player overnight. He played well for England. He played well for Leicester.
He plays well in them teams because they play a completely different style of football. They play defensive, sitting in. That's how they play.
That's how Man United were playing.
They don't play like that.
That's how they have been playing.
They didn't play like that though this season. They didn't. They were trying to press.
No, they can't press.
They can't press because Maguire kept getting done over the top.
Not when they got Rangnick playing them 4-2-2-2-2-2-2-2-2-2 formation, whatever it was.
I know, but he played well. He plays well for England and he played well for Leicester because they sat off.
Is it Ryan?
Ryan, yeah.
Yeah, Ryan. I'm not honestly, I'm not coming from a Liverpool angle. I actually mean some of these players. No, I'm not. Honestly,
every Liverpool ex-Liverpool player.
No, you tarring me with the same brush. I actually think Lingard's not done enough. Matic hasn't done enough.
He's not been given a chance, though.
Who?
Lingard's not been given a chance.
Well, he has. He's been there how long?
Hold on.
Yes, I know,
Lingard.
How long's he been? No, so he's got to go. How long's Lingard been there? The club's. I mean, I'd keep Rashford because he's been sucked into that.
Right. So you've got Rashford and you've got Maguire.
And Sancho, I'd keep him because he's not become.
Ronaldo.
He's got sucked
in.
Pardon?
You keep him Ronaldo.
Yeah, he's a freak of nature.
Right. So you've got Ronaldo, Rashford, Sancho, and Maguire.
Yeah.
Right. And
Alanga.
Phil Jones.
No, Phil Jones is gone.
Mike Phelan.
Phil Jones gone.
Darren Fletcher.
Varane gone. The lot's not good enough. I'm struggling. I'm struggling to find a player that's done well for the club. Who actually deserves to be up. Who actually deserves to put a Man United shirt on next season and say, when I line up on the halfway line on the first game of next season, I'm better than you.
They're down tools.
They're
down tools with Ralph.
Seem worse.
But they did.
Yeah, but what about downing tools for Ollie and downing tools for Mourinho? Do you not think it's the players' fault?
No, I think some of them are not good enough. But you know, you know what it's like as a player. When the manager, when you just see him through and you know he's not good enough, you end up just losing. No. You're going to see a different Manchester United.
Whatever
next season.
Happened to pride in performance, it overrules your life. Pride in performance.
If you ain't got no belief in the manager, if you haven't got belief in the manager. And the training's not good enough, and it's a shambles every day when you're walking in. Like people were saying on the inside of Manchester United, the results are going to be bad on the pitch. You're going to play bad.
It didn't stop me going out on the pitch,
the right mentality.
It didn't stop me. I don't care who the manager was when I played. It didn't really matter that much.
It's different now, Dean. It's
How?
different.
How?
Because the players need a manager to give them guidance.
No.
It's different characters.
No. A player has to get the better of his opponent on most weeks. No. If you get the better of your opponents and 7 of you do it in a game.
We're not playing 4-4-2, Dean.
No, if 7 of you get the better in midfield, right? You played in midfield. You have somehow got to get the better of your opponents most week. Otherwise, their strikers are getting a service, not ours.
But if you have a manager that's giving you guidance, giving you tactical awareness, giving
you
a belief in what you're doing and how you're playing, and he 100% drums it into you, you're going to be a better team.
So you're telling me all your life, from when you were little, and you played in midfield all your life, right, and you come right through the ranks, the reason you become a footballer is because all their managers...
No, I had managers that believed in me, managers that gave me belief.
You don't think it was
and
just...
coached me in the right way?
You had, in your mind,
of course I had ability,
strength and ability.
But everyone's got ability. But Manchester United lost their belief, lost the confidence in the coaches and the manager, and that's why they ended up having a terrible
season. Just got bad attitudes, Jim. Bad attitudes. Your attitude... Look, talent will get you press. Attitude gets you titles. Okay. It's your attitude overrules your talent every time.
Manchester United fans, would you agree with me or Dean Saunders? 03717 223344. Well, let's go to Simon, who's a United fan. Simon, good evening.
Hello, chaps. How are we?
I'm all right, Simon. I'm all right. Go on. What's your take on this? You agree with Dean?
Yeah, 100%. If not,
wow.
I think you've been a bit lenient on which players need to go. I mean, you said it all along. I think you need the old head for and the situation is, is he going to get the money to spend? The money they do need is, well, not hundreds of millions, but billions. So he'll have to go with youth, and you need the old heads like Cavani, Ronaldo. I know De Gea is on a lot of money.
Cavani's gone though, Si. He's gone.
Yeah, I know, but I just
players like that.
Long term, I agree with you, but I just think short term, I'd have done it 6-7 games before the end of the season, I'd have brought the boys in like Hannibal and all that, and just try and rebuild. It's a massive job, but it's not. People say 5 years, 10 years. I think it's even longer.
Look, Si, I watched Manchester United a few times last season at Old Trafford. The players just looked flat. I mean, you got Darren Fletcher on the sideline. I really like Darren. But he's there barking orders, and I don't know why he was, because Ralph was standing there doing nothing. But the players, they looked just really flat and dejected, and a lack of sort of enthusiasm. And it was
who. Which one?
Sancho.
The last sort of debate you had.
Sancho, Rashford. I mean...
Yeah, Rashford, but his mind is elsewhere. But I do agree that, again, young head being persuaded by so-called senior players in the dressing room, again, changes it. But I think Dean's bang on his old-school attitude. And I'm 46, but when I wanted to play, I played. I play for managers I didn't respect, but I still give 100%. And
yeah, I'm not saying that, but there's a belief and there's a confidence in your play. I don't think any of them had that with Ralph. I think you're going to see a different Man United next season with Ten Hag. I think he'll get the best out of some of these young players.
Simon, you say it's old school attitude. It's not. I mean, I'm watching Djokovic now and Nadal playing tennis. Yeah. Their attitude is the same every time you watch them play. That's why they're top players. So you put a Man United shirt on, and you go out and the manager said give you sort of tactics that aren't really, you don't agree with, right? You go out there and you think, say Ranieri's gone out and said, listen, we're going to press, but he doesn't go over the press, and they get it all wrong. They keep getting it all wrong. You still roll your sleeves up and you're playing for Man United and you go, right, this fullback, he's not getting the better of me today. I'm going to run past him both ways.
Yeah, but if you haven't got the confidence and you ain't got the belief, you ain't going to do that. Look at Sancho and Rashford.
Yeah, but at least give everything.
The manager can't put belief in the players. The players got to believe in themselves. What do you mean he can't?
What are you talking about? That's the whole point of having the manager.
No, it's not.
The whole point of having a manager is for him to give you confidence and belief.
Of course it isn't.
What is the point of having a manager then?
What's the point of having a manager to organise and do it? But the manager, once the whistle blows, it's up to the players to sort it out.
Spot on, Simon.
You can give all the instructions in the world. No, come on. The serious attitude is now there's on far too much money. They haven't got the desire. They haven't got the spirit. And that's the whole thing of it. If you're getting thumped 6-0, go and half someone. Show your passion. Like that.
No, yeah, well, that solves a problem, don't it? You get beat 6-0, so let's go and smash someone. That's going to make you... I mean, what an old-fashioned way to look at something. I mean, come on, Simon. A manager, of course he's there to organise the team, but he's also there to give you belief. He's also there to give you confidence. He's also there to coach you and give you that belief. When you walk on that pitch, like Conte does with these Tottenham players, you can't tell me Sessegnon's a better player than Darlow. You can't tell me these players are, Tottenham's team's better than Manchester United's. But Conte comes in, he gives them the confidence and the belief that they are great players.
Do you know the worst feeling in the world?
Ralph give any of them players confidence, they go out there and they're better than everyone else.
Do you know the worst feeling in the world for a professional football? This is what the worst feeling in the world should be. That one supporter in the crowd thinks I'm not giving everything I've got. I've come off the pitch, and I think one support... You've got to go on the pitch, and fans will not have a go at you if they think you're giving everything you've got. They'll forgive you for all the things you can't do. If you're giving you telling me that their Man United players are giving everything they've got? Or they're just going like, look at this. No. It's not my fault. I'm just going home in my Range Rover to my £10 million house. I'm not bothered.
I'm not disagreeing with you that their attitudes in the end wasn't acceptable. It's not good enough. But what I'm saying is that you're talking about getting rid of all these players. I think if you get a manager in like they've got now in Ten Hag, you're going to see different performances from these players. They're going to have some belief. They're going to have some confidence. He's going to instill that in them. They had no confidence last season because of how the manager was.
By the way, I'm not sure whether he's going to be a success. What tells you he's going to be a success then?
He just won a double in Holland.
In Holland? I mean, go on. Seriously?
What?
If they'd appointed Conte, I can understand you saying that. He'll get better. Even though I would have still disagreed with you.
Conte's at Tottenham.
They've had 5 years, these players, to show what they've got. And they've not produced for any of the managers. By the way,
Ollie's not world class.
I'm not sure about them too, but
right.
they've had in the past.
Mourinho was over the hill.
He's not over the hill. He's just won the. He's just won
he
the
was
league
for Man
with
United.
Roma.
The style of play for Manchester United didn't work. By the way, he got him second and won trophies, so he was successful.
I don't think it was his fault. I think in the end he ended up.
What's the last world-class manager they had?
Mourinho. Don't get much better than him.
Hmm.
And they didn't
I think
produce.
Man United fans would disagree.
They haven't produced for anyone.
Yeah, I don't think they've had a Conte. All right, let's go to Anthony, who's a Man City fan. Anthony.
Hello.
All right, Anthony.
Hi, Anthony.
Do you agree with Dean on Ten Hag? Do you think he's going to be a good appointment or not?
As a Man City fan, do you know what? I really think he will be a good appointment for him. Manchester United finished second in the league last season. They finished sixth this season. And that's down to management. That's not down to the players. That's down to the management and the coaching.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, if you think that, how many players at Man United's team would get in your team?
None of them.
None of them. No matter who the coach is, none of them would get in Man City's team. Or Liverpool's.
That's because Pep has drilled into them how good they are and how hard they work.
No,
Man
they're not
United
good
haven't
enough.
got that yet.
They're not good enough. In my opinion, they're not good enough to play for Man United. None of them.
Bruno might get on the bench now and again.
Varane would get in their team.
No, in what? Instead of who?
Man City. He would get in Man City's team.
Varane.
Sancho would play. Sancho would feature in their team.
No, he wouldn't.
Have you been watching someone else
Ronaldo would
this
feature
season?
in their team. Maybe not now with Haaland, but he would have last season. Ronaldo would have played.
Ronaldo's a freak of nature. How he's got 18 goals in that team, I don't know.
Sancho's at City.
Go on, Nancy, say it again.
Sancho's at City and he left City to go to Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah.
And then he came back to... And Borussia Dortmund made him a better player. And maybe it's an easier league for him, which... Everyone's saying, oh, Haaland's come to City and he's going to smash it, but... I'm a bit apprehensive about it.
But you don't think Haaland's going to do well?
Anthony, you know the players you've got at Man City. I look at all their attitudes before the talent. I look at Mahrez. I'm looking at them all like when they sub, when they're getting brought off, when they come on as subs, Foden, and their attitudes, all of them, and Liverpool's, spot on.
Every week.
And you look at Man United's players, and their attitudes not spot on.
No, I can't see it. But as a football fan, I hope that Ten Hag might be the inspiration for them to, because they are good players. They're all good players. They really are. And to finish sixth in the league, and everyone's going out. They've had a bad season, and they finished sixth.
That is a bad season, Anthony. It's a shocking season for Manchester United. Let's go to Paul, who's a Man United fan. Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Hey, Dean, how you doing? All right.
All right, yeah. Paul. Go on, what do you think of Dino's comments?
I'm not even going to go there with the De Gea comment because there's no way we can let him go. No way.
No.
There's only four. I mean, you talk about Harry Maguire. You know about Matic playing with piano on his back. He plays like a full orchestra on his back. He's terrible. When he gets outsmarted, his recovery run is a joke. It's like a factory at school that just can't.
No, but he's playing. Look, he's never been blessed with pace, Maguire. We know this, but you've signed him and you've tried to play a high line like Liverpool. He ain't that player.
No, I'm just going to come to that now. I mean, I think I heard last week that he was responsible for like 16 errors that led to goals this season alone. It's 10 hours in a play with an high line. You can't have Maguire, and especially Lindelof as well. You can't have any of them two in your centre-half position because they just ain't got the pace to get back. And Varane's been a disappointment. Out of that team, I mean, I'd probably keep 4 players and then keep some fringe players. And hopefully Ten Hag can change the mentality. But the majority of that team needs to go. I mean, I'll go through what I keep. I keep De Gea. I keep Shaw, if he shows the form that he showed for the Euros.
Yeah.
The rest of the defence can go. I keep Fernandes.
What, no Varane? You're not keeping Varane, Paul?
I'm disappointed in him. I mean, I'd keep him this season because obviously we can't get rid of everybody. So I'd keep Varane. But Lindelof, Jones has been there since Ferguson was there 9 years ago. When he retired, you know, any of the top clubs is going to have a player like Phil Jones. I mean, I know he puts 100% effort in when he plays, but
Same with Fred McTominay. He's just not good enough.
Yeah.
The only players I'd keep would be De Gea. Shaw, if he shows the form, shows for Euros. Fernandes, who for me a bit captain, even though he whinges a lot, but hopefully he'll get a good attitude this year with Tonight coming in. Rashford, if he pulls his finger out, and Sancho, and obviously Ronaldo. Apart from that, I don't see any of that squad being nowhere near good enough to compete with your Liverpool and Man City. The best we can hope for is, Chelsea have got things sorted now, so they're most likely going to fight out with Tottenham for third and fourth. We just need to sort of like...
Hey, Paul, I've just seen, you said I'm talking nonsense. You just agreed with me.
Well, yes.
No, Dean.
Apart from the goalkeeper. That was my comment about you talking nonsense with De Gea. I agree with most the things you've said, but De Gea, there's no way, especially in this transfer window, that De Gea can leave this year.
No.
Do you think he'd be still at the club if he wasn't on 375 grand a week?
But he's earned that.
I don't think he wants to be there. I don't think he wants to be at the club, but he can't leave. He can't afford to leave.
I know, but I'm not in the dressing room, but I don't see De Gea as one of the trouble causers in the dressing room. Not like your Pogba's and them type of players.
Yeah, no, I agree with you,
Just
Paul.
before you go, Paul, you can't have your captain laying on the floor every time he gets...
You really need to learn.
Hang on.
You really need to learn break times.
Hang on, break time, right? You can't have your captain laying on the floor squealing for free kicks every time he gets tackled. You can't have your captain doing that, Fernandes.
Fernandes. So Fernandes is gone as well.
Let's go. Yeah.
Get rid. You've got David De Gea, you've got Phil Jones, and you've got Mike Phelan.
One less than Paul.
Let's get back over to an epic battle at the French Open. Watching for TalkSport is Lisa O'Sullivan.